Hello and welcome. This is the view of the back of my Land Rover Defender. I'm a self-employed plumber and I use my Land Rover every day. However, very soon my wife and I are going to go on a road trip to Europe. Well, France and Spain. So I want to transform the back of my Land Rover from this to this. So my first task is to start removing this tonneau that's constructed of checker plate. It's just held together with nuts, bolts and self-tapping screws. I've speeded most of this video up. It would be rather boring if you had to watch me undo every nut and bolt. As you can see, I carry so many bits and pieces around with me, and I definitely think it's about time I streamlined my operation, and this is a very good opportunity to do that. Once all the checker plate's removed and I've cleared most of the stuff and the rubbish, it's time to start removing the bolts that are holding the rear hoop down. Now, when I purchased the canvas tonneau that I'm proposing to fit, before it was even delivered, I realised that it would sag when it rained, and there was something I was going to have to do to stop it from sagging. I thought about putting some bars across, but that's not really that effective. I would have thought it would still sag in places. When the canvas tonneau was delivered, the instructions recommended supporting it over its whole area with some 12mm ply. When actually reading the instructions, what I read was 3 planks wide at 10.5 inches and 61.5 inches long. But in actual fact, the instructions read 4 planks 10.5 inches wide by 61.5 inches long. So off I went to my local DIY store and I got some 18mm ply, and I had it cut to the sizes that I required. 10.5 inches wide by 61.5 inches long. The problem was I only had 3 cut at 10.5 inches. I should have had 3 cut at 14.5 inches. And the guy who did the cutting at the DIY store, in his infinite wisdom, he cut the planks 59.5 inches long, and I didn't check them. Fortunately, I needed some shelving in my garage, and these pieces 10.5 inches wide by 59.5 inches long were just perfect. So these planks that you can see now, there are 3 of them. They're 14.5 inches wide and 61.5 inches long. Anyway, all's well that ends well. As you can see here, the planks fit perfectly. I fitted the rubber door stops on the underside of the planks to prevent the timber from rubbing on the paintwork. The door stops also give me a little bit more height underneath the boards. This also allows the canvas to tuck nicely underneath the rear window frame. Now, this stuff here is normally used to protect flooring, but I'm using it here as a waterproof membrane on my ply, as when I fitted the canvas tonneau initially, we had a downpour of rain and the water went straight through it. Stupidly, I assumed that the canvas was pre-waterproofed, but after reading the instructions once again, it simply said that you must waterproof it. So what I'm doing here is making up a couple of little corners, because there's a gap in the tonneau cover, and if I'm driving along I can see there's going to be water going in that, so I'm just making up some box corners, if you like. It's very arts and craftsy, but this is all I can come up with at the moment, until I can probably get some of that fabric and get my wife to make up a corner for me. So as usual, what I thought was going to be a pretty simple and quick job has turned out to be a bit of a mammoth task. because there's always these little unforeseen bits and pieces that have to be done. So this is the stuff that they recommend waterproofing the canvas with, and basically you just brush it on. It seems like to have a good write-up, so I've got every faith that it will waterproof the canvas. When I had applied all the solution to the canvas, all these stains suddenly appeared to be coming through. I just had to hope that it would dry out okay, and they wouldn't be showing, otherwise the whole thing would be ruined. Luckily they did dry out, and there's no sign of them whatsoever. Here I am, I'm just experimenting now. I've just going to fit the canvas top loosely, and then in case I need some extra storage or extra carrying capacity, I've got a net, and I just wanted to see if the net would clip over the top of the canvas. And yes, that works perfectly. I mean, that's a desperate solution just in case we have any extra stuff that we need to carry. In the winter I'll probably fit the canvas back onto my Land Rover. So now I'm just going to do a dry run of all the stuff that I'm proposing to carry in the back of the vehicle when we're on a road trip. Now it's not going to be a camping road trip, we're hoping to stay in I don't know, motels or something like that, but I still want to carry a certain amount of stuff just for emergencies. So as you can see here, I've got Jack, I've got a couple of sunbeds, a couple of folding chairs, a little gas stove with some extra canisters, a kettle, and a fuel can. I stuck some Velcro pads to the ply just to stop the membrane from slipping. In the back, under the main bed as it were, I've got this drawer that I'm going to keep all my tools and spares in. In fact, in this drawer I've managed to get all the spanners that I think I might require, all the sockets that I might require, and most of the spares that I might require. Hopefully on the road trip I won't require any of them. Here I've listed the approximate cost of everything. All of the materials to do this job came from Amazon, B&Q, eBay and Screwfix. Last night we seemed to have quite a lot of rain, so this morning when I rolled back the canvas I can honestly say there was no sign of water penetration, so I'm happy with that. On a lighter note, has anybody ever thought of constructing a Land Rover out of aluminium checker plate? Perhaps there's somebody out there that could have the answer to that question. So that's it. No renovation, just preservation, and another step closer to the road trip. My wife is going to be really happy.